What would be an ideal ticket price that you'd be willing to spend for public transport?
Maybe a few dollars.
$4 maybe?
Yeah.
What could be implemented to improve the sanitation in the public transport?
Maybe to clean more often.
How safe do you feel on trains out of a rating out of 10?
7.
Buses?
6.
City cats or ferries?
7.
Taxis?
5.
About how long do you usually wait for trains?
5 to 10 minutes.
Buses?
10 minutes.
City cats or ferries?
5-10 minutes usually.
Taxis?
Sometimes waiting 20 minutes for one.
Why do you feel safe or unsafe on public transport?
Well, usually at night time I'd feel less safe.
About how much do you pay for a ticket to get on a train?
One way it cost me about $3 maybe.
A bus?
$2 maybe.
Ferry?
I'm not sure how much the ferry prices are up here though.
Oh, that's okay. Taxi?
20.
How would you describe the cleanliness of trains?
Oh, they're pretty decent. Not too bad. Could be better though.
Buses?
Oh, buses are generally okay.
City cats and ferries?
Oh, yeah, they're usually clean.
Taxis?
About the same. Yeah, not too bad.
How do you describe the service in Brisbane's public transport system?
Pretty efficient, I would say.
How accessible are all the types of public transport?
From where I live, they're all pretty accessible. It's pretty good. They're all very convenient.
Do you believe that the public transport in Brisbane is superior to that in New York? Not really
Can't
sure.
say, but I know it's better than Sydney,
Okay.
for sure.
Cool. Thank you for your time.
It's alright, thanks.
Have a nice
Thank
day.
you.
Spend on public transport.
Okay, $2.
What could be implemented to improve the sanitation in the public transport?
Good question. Probably if they wash it every night, like disinfect it.
Yeah.
So,
How safe do you feel on trains out of 10?
10.
Buses?
10.
City cats and ferries?
10.
Taxis?
Maybe 8.
About how long do you usually wait for trains?
5 minutes.
Buses?
10 minutes.
City cats or ferries?
10 minutes.
Taxis?
10 minutes.
Why do you feel safe or unsafe on public transport?
Oh, well, normally there are quite a good people inside, no troublemakers.
Yeah.
Drivers are very good, so that's why I feel safe.
Yeah. Okay. About how much do you pay for a ticket on a train?
Oh, well, it depends. Average, let's say $10.
On a bus?
Maybe $2-3.
Ferry?
Ferry, another $6.
Taxi?
About $20.
How would you describe the cleanliness of trains?
Very good, very good.
Buses?
Very good,
City cats or
very
ferries?
good, and very good.
How would you describe the service in Brisbane public transport?
Good.
How accessible are all the types of public transport?
Is accessible. Yeah.
Accessible? Okay. Do you believe that the public transport in Brisbane is superior to that in New York?
I have never been
No.
in New York, so
No?
don't know. Sorry.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
Have a nice day. What would be an ideal ticket price that you would be willing to spend on public transport?
When you say ticket price for going from where to where?
Just, I don't know, on average, maybe
$5.
city. What could be implemented to improve the sanitation in the public transport?
Deodorising it?
How safe do you feel on trains out of 10?
Depending on what time of day it is.
Okay.
During the day, 9. Of an evening, 5.
Buses?
During the day, 9. Of an evening, probably about 7.
Okay. City, cats or ferries?
9 and 9.
Taxis?
9 and 9.
About how long do you usually wait for trains?
10 minutes max.
Buses?
Same.
City, cats or ferries?
Same.
Taxis?
Probably 15.
How do you feel? Why do you feel safe or unsafe on public transport? Particular reason, or
It's probably most of all the trains because of the isolation.
okay? About how much do you pay for a ticket to get on a train?
$7.
A bus?
$3.54.
Ferry?
I rarely catch them, so just say 5.
Taxi?
40.
How would you describe the cleanliness of trains?
About a 7.
Buses?
Same.
City, cats or ferries?
Probably 9,
Taxis?
8.
How would you describe the service in Brisbane's public transport?
Improving, but still ad hoc.
Okay. How accessible are all the types of public transport?
How?
Accessible, so from where you live.
Yeah, within 15-minute walk.
Do you believe that the public transport in Brisbane is superior to that in New York?
No.
Or would you not know?
No. Been to New York and no.
No. Okay, cool. Thank you
Okay,
very
thank
much.
you for your
Have a
time.
good day. Ready? What would be an ideal ticket price that you'd be willing to spend on public transport?
I'd probably say like $2 for a trip.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, that does sound really good.
What could be implemented to improve the sanitation in public transport?
Oh gosh. I actually don't mind sanitation on public transport. Like, I don't really have a problem with it. Yeah, I think it's okay. I mean, probably like bus drivers cleaning up
Yeah.
more, like getting all the loose paper and things like that.
Yeah. How safe do you feel on train?
I don't catch a train. Bus is my thing.
Okay. How safe do you feel on bus?
Yeah. I've never had any problems. And I generally make sure at night that I take responsibility for my safety in terms of sitting near the bus driver.
Yeah.
So I feel safe.
Maybe a rating out of 10?
A rating out of 10. I would probably say 8.
8. You catch a City Cats, ferries or taxis?
Yes, I do catch all of those.
City Cats or ferries, safety out of 10?
I would probably say 9, only because I catch them not at night.
Yeah, okay. Taxis?
Yeah, I would probably say 7.
About how long do you usually wait for a train?
So for my bus, I would probably wait
Oh, yeah, right.
about 10 minutes at the most, I suppose.
Yeah. City cats or a ferry?
It's a long time for the ferry, so I would say like 15 minutes.
Okay. Taxi?
10 minutes.
Why do you feel safe or unsafe on public transport?
Why? Because sometimes the people who catch it might be a little bit unpredictable. They might have different agendas, that sort of thing.
Yeah. How much do you pay for a ticket to get on a train?
Well, I don't catch a train,
Oh,
so I
right.
don't know.
Yeah, keep
but
saying
the
that.
bus, I think we currently, I'm doing use a go-kart, so I think that's like $4 a return or like $5 a return.
A ferry?
I don't know how much it is actually. I haven't caught a ferry in a really long time. I'd have to Google it.
A taxi?
It's generally, for me, $30 to $40.
Yeah. How would you describe the cleanliness of trains?
I don't catch trains.
Oh, right. I keep saying that. Buses.
I think you talked about what could be improved. Yeah, like I said, I don't think buses are really bad. I think they're good. Like, I would say,
City cats or ferries?
Yeah, city cats have always been really clean, so I would say very good on that one.
Taxi.
Taxis, yeah, very average sometimes.
How would you describe the service in Brisbane public transport?
Good.
How accessible are all the types of public transport?
Accessible are the types of good. Yeah, actually, I would say excellent. Just because it's where I live.
Yeah. Do you believe that the public transport in Brisbane is superior to that in New York?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
I wish we had a subway.
Thank you.
No worries, thanks guys.
Have a nice day.
What would be an ideal ticket price that you'd be willing to spend to get on a train?
Train ticket. Well, I mean, I'm from Melbourne originally. I quite like their system where you pay for a 2-hour block, so you can use the trains or the buses as much as you like for 2 hours, and then after that you just get charged for the day. So I don't mind paying up to $7 if I get to use it for the whole day. I think the issue in Brisbane is you have to keep paying every time you get on them. So
What could be done to improve the cleanliness and the sanitation in public transport?
I actually think it's pretty good in Brisbane. Generally I find the trains are pretty clean and the buses are pretty clean. So
How safe do you feel on the trains here?
pretty safe.
Buses?
Yeah, I mostly catch them during the day though, so not really sure at night time. Yeah.
Ferries?
Ferries, yeah, pretty safe on the ferry. Yeah.
And taxis?
Taxis, I catch taxis all the time, so I feel safe in taxis.
How long do you usually wait for trains here?
I have to wait for about an hour for mine, so it's a little bit of a long wait.
Buses?
I think that's usually about 40 minutes. Yeah.
Ferries?
That varies. I think it's about half an hour. Sometimes it's an hour, depending on the time of day.
And taxis?
Pretty quick for taxis. Yeah.
Why do you feel safe or unsafe on public transport?
I generally feel pretty safe because there's usually lots of other people using it. With the ferries, you've always got the person there who sells the tickets, and I guess again I don't catch it a lot late at night. So,
how much do you pay a ticket to get on a train?
I actually have no idea how much it costs to catch the train. I just tap my card.
Alright, how would you describe the cleanliness of the trains?
Trains are pretty good. Sometimes there's a little bit of a graffiti, but I'm used to that. In Melbourne, there's lots of graffiti on the trains.
Buses?
Buses are always clean. I've never got on a bus that's not clean.
Ferries?
Ferries always very clean, yeah.
And taxis?
Taxis varies from taxi driver to taxi driver, yeah.
How would you describe the service in Brisbane public transport?
I think it's pretty good. It'd be nice if it was a bit more frequent. Sometimes you have to wait a while.
How accessible are all the types of transport?
There's lots of stops, so that's good. But again, frequency of services would help. Yeah.
Do you believe that the public transport in Brisbane is superior to that in New York?
Never been to New York, but I think as far as travelling around Melbourne and Sydney have a better public transport system than Brisbane.
Thank you.
No problem.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Okay, what would be an ideal ticket price that you would be willing to spend on public transport?
Depends where you're going. Long distance. If it was just from home to the city, it's $3.
What could be implemented to improve the sanitation in public transport?
I've never noticed the public transport is not properly clean. Just make sure it is clean. That's all they have to do.
Yeah. How safe do you feel on a train out of 10?
10,
On a bus?
10,
On a city cat or a ferry?
10. I don't feel unsafe in any of them.
Taxi?
Sometimes a little marginal, say 8 out of 10 for taxis.
About how long do you usually wait for a train?
I don't use trains very often these days, but say 10 minutes.
On a bus?
Same, 10 minutes.
On a city cat or a ferry?
I haven't. A bit longer because they're not as. Say 15 minutes.
Taxi?
15 minutes.
Why do you feel safe or unsafe on public transport?
Why? Well, I don't fear any threat. There's no threat.
So you just no.
No threat.
No,
I don't.
yeah.
Okay. I don't feel unsafe.
Yeah. About how much do you pay for a ticket to get on a train?
I don't get on a train normally, but normally to the city is about $5, isn't it?
Yeah, around about that, yeah.
A bus?
Same, something similar.
Ferry?
Say $5 again. I haven't been to the ferry for a while either.
Yeah. A taxi?
Normally when I catch a taxi to the airport, and that's normally $60.
$60. How would you describe the cleanliness of a train?
Good.
A bus?
Good. They're all good.
So all of them just good?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, I don't have any problems with cleanliness.
Okay. How would you describe the service in Brisbane's public transport?
Oh, excellent.
How accessible are all the types of public transport?
If you live near a main road, it's very accessible, so I don't have any problem with it because I live near a main road. But if you lived in a more remote suburb, it might be difficult.
Yeah. Okay.
So I say there's no problems with accessibility.
Yeah. Do you believe that the public transport in Brisbane is superior to that in New York?
Well, no. I've been in New York, and New York's underground train system is quite fantastic. Here, it's not. We don't have one.
Yeah.
So if we're an underground tube system, it'd be wonderful, but we don't have the population to sustain it.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
All the best. What school did you belong to?
What would be an ideal ticket price that you'd be willing to spend on public transport?
Well, I normally travel by public transport, and I guess it depends on what I was trying to do and how far we were to travel. I use a go-kart at the moment, which is perfectly satisfactory, but overall I believe in public transport. I think it's more important than private transport. I think people should make an endeavour to travel by public transport, so I'd pay more than I currently do. I suppose I'd pay, I don't know, maybe $10 return to Indooroopilly. So, but I'd probably pay more because it'd be more expensive to bring a car in and park. It's something I haven't really thought about. But I think the philosophy should be that we have free public transport to keep the cars off the road and to cut down on fuel usage and also greenhouse gases.
What could be implemented to improve the sanitation in public transport?
The sanitation in public transport, I think it's reasonably fairly good. If you're talking about just hygiene and you're not talking about the installation of toilets, are you?
Just cleanliness and how clean.
I think they're fairly good. I don't think there's really any great problem there. They're obviously if someone had influenza and they were coughing, Other people could catch it, but that's something that you'd have in any place where people come together.
Yeah.
I think if people wash their hands periodically before eating and so on, then you're not going to be particularly worried. I think the hygiene's all right.
Okay. How safe do you feel on a train out of 10?
How safe do I feel on a train, or what is that, or a bus? You say?
Just I'll go through. So train first.
On a train, well, they're a very safe form of transport. They'd be much safer than a car. I think aeroplanes are supposed to be the safest.
Yeah.
But normally a train would be a safe form of transport. I don't think there are too many people killed as a result of train accidents. You get the occasional big train accident.
Yeah.
With a lot of people. There was a big accident in Granville a long time before you were born. It's killed a lot of people. But overall, they're pretty safe.
A bus?
Again, buses are pretty safe. You get the occasional accident, but overall, I think perhaps buses should have, long-distance buses, they do now, they have safe seat belts.
Yeah.
And perhaps seat belts should be on ordinary local buses. I think they ought to be.
Yeah. A city cat or a ferry, how safe would you feel on that?
Probably the city cat would be safer just because it's more modern, but I don't really know. They travel at a higher speed, so I couldn't answer that.
Yeah.
A taxi.
Well, taxis are starting to get a little bit more dangerous, I think.
Yeah.
Because they may be more dangerous than travelling in your own car, depending on the driver.
About how long do you usually wait for a train?
I very rarely catch trains, so I don't generally wait for them.
That's all right.
But it depends on the circumstances. It depends on if I were to travel into town, a train would be about, say, up to a quarter of an hour.
Okay.
Yeah. Bus, how long would you wait for that?
Oh, usually 5 to 10 minutes.
2 minutes. City cat or a ferry?
Again, sort of rarely catch city cats or ferries.
That's right. Taxi.
Taxi, usually one pre-orders them, then basically they have to wait for me to get out the gate.
Yeah. Why would you feel safe or unsafe on public transport?
Well, sometimes you get drivers that are a little bit speedy and they use the brake a bit too much.
Yeah.
I have had that happen. I do a bit of volunteering at the museum at the moment, and I carry a heavy rucksack, and sometimes the driver will start off before you're seated, and that could be dangerous.
Yeah.
Or he'll apply the brakes quickly, and that causes problems.
How much do you pay for a ticket to get on a train? Do you catch?
Well, I use a Go card, and I think that's a system where you pay up front, and it's taken off the card, and it's just recharged automatically. And I'm not really sure, what I spend.
Okay. How would you describe the cleanliness of a train?
How would I describe
the cleanliness?
Well, generally pretty good.
Good. A bus?
Yes, generally pretty good.
Good. A city cat or a ferry?
I think they're all generally fairly good, from my experience. But I guess there are terrible exceptions. Maybe on a Sunday morning after a bad Saturday night. I don't know. They may be bad. I don't know.
A taxi.
Yeah, taxis are generally fairly good. I haven't had problems.
Okay. How would you describe the service in Brisbane's public transport? The service.
The service. I think it's overall pretty good.
Cool.
The drivers generally are polite, on the buses.
Yeah. How accessible are all the types of public transport to you?
Well, to me, it's pretty good because I live in Indooroopilly. We live right, in the middle of a major suburb, so there's really very good services. I have to walk for about, I suppose, 7 minutes or so to get to the bus, or equally about to get to the train.
Yeah. Do you believe that the public transport in Brisbane is superior to that in New York?
In New York?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Wouldn't know?
No, I wouldn't know. I haven't been to New York.
That's all right.
But, so I really can't comment.
That's all right. Thank you very much for your time.
That's all right.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Good.